What's going on, y'all? Today is a little back and biceps day. Maybe a tad bit of shoulders if I want to hit them. But today it's going to be same thing as usual. I don't even want to say low volume training anymore because now it's just like training. But I still got to figure out what I want to do because I'm thinking about doing workout A and then another workout B. And workout A would be the lowest volume out of the day, right? And it would be like 4 sets of a muscle group total. Volume B would be like 6, 7-ish sets total. So I don't know. I don't know if that's what I want to do, but I'll kind of figure it out. And it would be like the main lifts, like a lat pull down or a pull up would be in there, or just like a lat pull down workout A, and then pull ups for workout B or something. It's just stuff I want to figure out because it's also like I'm not at the same gyms every day, right? I'm at 3 different gyms, and I guess if you want to count different like gyms but same company, it could be like 4 or 5 gyms, right? Because the one membership I have for this gym, Iron, it has 3 gyms to it. But so, but today, same as per usual, lat pull down, some chest supported row. Yeah, just the usual, man. Just get in there and train intense, right? Biceps training as usual. Easy bar, curl of some sort. That's the whatchamacallit. If that's on the cable, or if that's on like a freeway, or if I'm doing hammer curls, dumbbell or rope, So we'll just kind of figure out today. But other than that, I'll see you guys in there.
Alright, so the first move we got is a T-bar row, specifically for the upper mid-back. This first set, you'll see I did like a kind of like a lat kind of biased one because my elbows aren't flared out. But then I do a drop set because I realized it's a little heavy, but I wanted to see how many reps I can get with 4 plates. So I did a superset, and you'll see after this, it's more flared out, and that's more upper back, kind of mid-back dominant. So like I said, the key is just to keep your upper back is to mainly just have your elbows flared out and explode on the way up and go slow on the way down. Now the key is for lat pull on is to mainly drive your elbows to the floor. Make sure you're going slow and controlled on the way up and explode on the way down. And make sure you're keeping your elbows tucked when you're doing this to get the most activation. And I'd probably recommend going a little lighter than I did here. I just want to see how many reps I can get with the heavier weight too. Today was kind of low reps, just to see how many heavy reps I can get today. Now, as you see, we're going to be hitting another upper back isolated unilateral movement. So now we're going to be mainly doing just retracting the shoulder blade together and really just getting a squeeze on that upper kind of mid-upper trap area. But make sure you get a deep stretch at the top by going as far up as you can comfortably and then just squeezing really hard down. Now we're going to be working on the lower trap and kind of mid trap and a little bit of the upper trap at the top, but mainly the lower trap. But mainly just do a Y raise and make sure you're going straight up at a Y angle rather than just straight up and forward, but squeeze the top and get a deep stretch at the bottom.
And to make it easier, don't have it in a neutral grip, have it like the grip I'm currently having it. That's why you'll see me switch. It's kind of like doing a drop set, superset kind of thing. Alright, so now this is going to be a little controversial of a lift, only because of the bar, how thick it is. Some people might just feel mainly more brachialis when they do this, but I feel more bicep than anything when I do this. So I just did it with a thicker bar today, but you can use also just a normal kind of easy bar. But make sure you train heavy and hard with these. Make sure you get a good squeeze at the top by holding up there for a second and a deep stretch at the bottom.
And now we're going to be hitting the brachialis mainly, but also a little bit of the bicep. And we're going to be training heavy and hard with these by getting a good squeeze at the top, by holding for a second at the top, and then going controlled on the way down to get the most activation on the stretch portion of the movement. And make sure you're doing crossbody, hit the most long head, which is that gives you that peak part of the bicep.
Alright, cardio done? No, not cardio done. Lift done. Now we got about 15-20 minutes of cardio. Probably burn around, not much, probably like 150, 200 calories around. But, you know, I just recently got those oxide nitric boosters. The kind of the pump pill stuff. You know, they're not bad. Like I said, the ones on TikTok that I bought were underdosed. That's for sure. So I took 2 servings today. A little better, not worth the hype though. I mean, they were cheap. They're $10. You get like 30 servings. So I've already used like 4 servings around. So, you know. But overall, if you want a little bit of a better pump, like I said in the past, the best way to get a pump is just do diet, which is fast digesting carbs, little protein, minimal fat, higher sodium, and you'll get a good pump. And if you add, you know, supplements like the nitric booster or whatever, it's gonna add something, but it's not like you're gonna turn into a Mr. Olympia from it now. But you might see a little difference. So it's not necessary. If you're like a gym influencer or whatnot and you want to take pump pictures, that might add to it a little bit. But for me, just doing, you know, a diet and, you know, doing the fast digesting carbs and then adding those, there's really not much of a difference, right? So, like I said, if you want to buy them, go ahead. But get one that's not underdosed, so you don't have to take 6 pills at a time just to kind of get a little bit of a thing from it. Because I don't know about you guys, but every time I take too many pills at once, always throw up. Always throw up. So, yeah, I like all the vitamins. I just do a multivitamin and my fish oils and stuff. So it's just 2 pills I take a day, and then my creatine. But like, I remember I took everything individually, and I threw up about a handful of times. Not like I was throwing up every time, but there was one time I specifically remembered, took my pre-workout, and I was going to the gym, took them right before I was about to go. I felt horrible because I threw up, and it's just, you could see the pills, and it was disgusting. So that's why I always recommend, if you're someone like that, who's like me, who can't really take pills or you'll throw up, then get a multivitamin. Save you that kind of time too, because I'm not a type of dude who can take 30 pills at once and, you know, and all that's going to be absorbed. No, I'm going to have to take my B12 vitamin and then my fish oils, and then I'm going 2 at a time, max. But, so, they're not a bad, like I said, the nitric booster, not bad. Just if you kind of want, like, I don't know, if you're not really caring too much about your pump, right? Like if you're just coming here, you just want to get a good workout, you should at least eat the fast digesting carbs, because that will just give you more energy, more strength for your workouts. But don't worry too much about, or whatever. But the low volume approach that I've been doing definitely has been working. I have seen so many results. PR'd on my T-bar row today. Got 4 plates for 3. I probably could have gone like 3 plates and 35, but I wanted to see what I could do for 4 plates. I got 3 reps. They weren't the best reps, but they were reps. So, and that's what I say. If you're trying to increase your reps sometime, or just increase your strength, sometimes you got to try an ego lift a little bit, right? Because if you just do, I tried the 4 plates, but I wanted perfect form. Something tells me I probably wouldn't have gotten that. You know, something tells me that I probably wouldn't have gotten any reps. And then it would have just been a fail. And I wouldn't have been like super discouraged, but I would have been like, whoa, I thought I at least got one. So if you're trying to just go up in weight, don't always look at the most perfect reps. Get the reps first in your head so you can know mentally, okay, I can do this. And then go towards that kind of, I guess you could say, better looking reps. Because if you just, like I said, if you just always go for perfect, you're never going to fully get that rep. That's not to say don't obliterate your form and injure yourself. By no means, don't do that at all. That's not what I'm saying. But, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. But overall, the workout today, I PR'd on damn near everything. Not on hammer curls, I don't think on my cable curls. So biceps, I didn't really PR, but, you know, smaller muscle groups, it's sometimes a little hard to PR on. Like shoulders, unless you're doing like shoulder press, it's hard to PR on. It really is. You know, like lateral raises, that's going to be hard to PR on. Because, at least for me, if I go horribly, like do like a horrible looking lateral raise, I'm going to injure myself. So I'm always more cautious. I got the 45s for like 7 or 6, but a couple days ago, but you know, I don't want to hurt myself at all. But, you know, I really enjoy doing cardio, man. Like I was talking to my girl about it yesterday, and it's just like I don't know. I'm never going to be a guy who does cardio over weights, ever. Like, I might do, like, sometimes 30 minutes more than what I did for weightlifting. Like, I'll do, like, basketball. And I was a basketball player once, forever ago. And sometimes I'll get into it and I'll play, like, 6 games if we have that many people who want to play that many games. But if I'm just chilling, I will never play by myself that long. You know, that sounds kind of crazy out of context. Hopefully nobody heard that without context. But yeah, just like I said with cardio, find things that you enjoy. Find things that are easy enough and you're not going to hurt yourself, right? Like I said, don't use the weights as cardio, right? I wish I had something to stabilize this on. Use the weights as just like a thing to get bigger and stronger at. But here, if you really want to get more endurance, if you really want to get more cardio, I'm just mainly using it to get more lean. That's my goal with this. It's just to help me get a little bit more lean, allows me to eat another burger if I want to, you know, whatever. But mainly, the point of these reps in this, you know, whole thing, cardio, is just to get lean, right? And the thing that's weird about it is, for me, I've gotten leaner, but I haven't gone down in weight. I've gotten up in weight. It's really weird. But, you know, cardio is just a really good life thing in general, too. If you can run a lot, imagine if zombie apocalypse came around and you had no cardio. You only had weightlifting experience, but no cardio experience. But you're dead. You're going to turn into a boomer or a tank, depending on what kind of strength build you're at. But if you have a little cardio, you might not turn into a little zombie, you know, unless they're like World War Z zombies, then you're definitely screwed. But other than that, that's it for me, y'all. I hope you guys have a very blessed day. Goodbye.